All right. What up? What up, beautiful people? It's your boy, Coach Mike James of P&Z Life Coaching, and I'm here on my third episode of Impactful Conversations, and I am honored. I got my big bro here with me tonight. None other than, as I know him, brother AE, Abraham Evans the third. Bro, man, look, we gonna jump into it, man, real quick. Let me play this little intro, though. Let me do that. Impactful Conversations. Here we go. Hey, yes, sir. You saw that good and clear, bro?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, perfect. That was my first time sharing a clip on here live. So, but again, man, we're live right now, bro, on Facebook and YouTube again for the third live episode. All of them been live so far. Impactful Conversations. And again, like I said, I'm excited, man. I got my big bro with me. Just an amazing brother who I'm excited to talk to tonight. So go ahead, man. Without further ado, introduce yourself, man. Let the people know who you are. Tell everybody about you.
All right. Well, congratulations, man, on your podcast. I think it's a wonderful thing on everything that you're doing. Much success and continue everything. My name is Abraham Evans III. I am the state director of Alabama for Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. I live in Birmingham, Alabama, and I am just happy to be here. So we'll let you go ahead and get started, man.
Yeah, man. I love you. Listen, y'all heard right. He did not stutter. You heard right. It was not a miscue. He said, yes, the state director for the state of Alabama for Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, man. Again, that's what I say, my big bro, man. So look, man, again, with Impactful Conversations, man, I like to talk about community and what's going on, what you're doing, and kind of throw some ideas off of each other. And so the first thing I guess I would say is um take me back. Take me back, bro. Help me fill in that gap from from little young AE to where you are now, man. And just, give people some idea of where you're from, man, and kind of your upbringing, man.
Okay. I'm from Mobile, Alabama. Um, I would say society with statistics would have me either dead or in jail or probably a high school dropout or just being a liability on society and not an asset. And I say that because in 1982, my dad was murdered. So I was unfortunately at that time was part of a single parent household. My mother was fantastically awesome. She's an amazing woman. So it was her and I. And of course, it takes a village. So I had my aunts and my uncles on my mom's side. And then my dad, I had my aunts and my uncles, and they filled in the gap, if you will. And I cannot say enough about my family. They taught me how to be who I am today. They encouraged me, they motivated me, they taught me never to take no for an answer, but to accept no as long as I exhausted all other possibilities and to do my own research. So even as a young child, I did research to find answers for myself and not just let someone tell me something and took it for what they told me. I had to do my own research. So my upbringing was outstanding. I educated, I went to college, was able to get a degree, was successful, and I attribute that to my family, to my mom, to my aunts, to my uncles. So when they say it takes a village, when they say it takes a community, I am a product of that village. I'm a product of that community. So suffice it to say, I believe in community and everything that community stands for, because in that background, in the early years, in the upbringing, I can truly attest to it takes a family. It takes that that community. When I went to college, it was fun times, but we still had family. So my background and everything I do and everything that I am, it's always been family. It's what I believe, is what I talk about, is what I preach on both sides of my family. It was ingrained that education is the key, that education is the answer. It was also ingrained that family is the cohesive glue, that at the end of the day, that's what we have. We have family. We have one another, because with my grandmother has a saying, teeth and tongue fall out, but we still need each other. And to this day,
Mm.
that's what I believe. Teeth and tongue fall out, but we still need each other. And that was my background. I know when I was younger, my mother would always take me to her office building, and I was probably at the age of 11 or 12 years old. I was filing papers and typing on the computer. That's why I'm proficient in typing and filing paperwork now, which I didn't know it as a child, but as an adult, it quite comes in handy knowing how to file and
Yeah.
type. You know what I mean? Knowing how to file and type and do things on the computer, especially in the modern age of technology, that had I not had that experience, if I was out doing other things, I wouldn't have that. And my mother, she was she held me to a strict standard. At the age of 43, even when I go to my mom's house, I'm in the house by 12:30 because I respect my
Yeah.
mom. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
why I have that respect for my mother. So as a young man, when I was in high school, and to this day, my friends always tease me, but I know when 12:30 come, I'm in my mom's house, even at 43 years old, because that's just the level of respect. And that's what I was ingrained with my mom, to have that level of respect for my mom's house. At 12:30, even at 43, I'm at home.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Man, and so much of what you said, bro, like, wow. And that's why I always like to start with like background when I'm talking to somebody, doing these conversations, an interview, whatever it is. I like background because it fills in so many gaps, right? And then you
Mhm.
say, okay, got it. That's why my bro's so dope, because that background is important. Like you say, that upbringing, man, family, man. So a lot of people know, but I'm from a large family, man. I'm the youngest of 11, and my parents were just the southern preachers, and so big family. My mom was, both my parents are deceased, but my mom was one of 13, my dad was one of 11. And so, like, when you said that it takes a village, takes a family, man, I was like, bro, you speaking my language.
Yes, sir.
Exactly what it is. And I think too, um it's so important when you have that, because I think great people comes, have that kind of background where it was multiple people, or even in the professional world, right? People say my team, my team, or my web, my circle. So Charles Moss said at 53, my mom locks her door. He's 53, so that's my bro. He was chiming in, definitely. So yeah, that's it, man, that upbringing. And so you kind of gave me a perfect alley-oop, man. You said something there, bro, and you talked about community, man. And so I guess one thing too, for and in your, with your upbringing and now your adult life, what does community mean to you, or what does it look like to you when you hear or see the word community?
You know, when you see the word community, community simply means together, if you think about it, because you and I are part of a community because we share the same fraternity. So we're in that community. Now, if you take away Sigma, take that away, you and I are also part of another community because we're Black.
Right.
Now, if you take being Black away, you and I would also be a part of another community because we would both be males. So
Mm-hmm.
a community is whatever tie that brings someone or a group of people together. And that's what community means to me. It can be different background, it can be different ethnicities, but it's something that brings a group of people together, and that gives you that community. So if you have someone, for another example, You may have someone that's 80 years old, that's a Marine. And then you have someone that's 22 years old, that's a Marine. And if they see each other in passing, they will recognize one another, be it they have a tattoo, or they may see a flag, or they may see something that lets them know that they're both Marines, and they may talk for a few moments and realize that they have something in common and they are part of that same community that brings them together. So to me, a community is that defining piece that gives you a connecting tie with one another that you may not have with any other person. And that's what we have to remember in this society. There's always going to be something that ties you to another person that you may not ever know you have until you sit and talk to that person.
Right. I love that. I love the way you described it too, because that community, the community ties, the community binding, I guess, it goes across strangers. Like for one community that I think of, up until 2017, I was a part of that motorcycle community, right? And although I rode sports bikes, I pull up, to a gas station, man. It could be a guy on a Harley, it could be a guy on a whatever it is, man, and it's that community. What's up? You had these conversations with somebody who you may not in any other circumstance even communicate with. But I said communicate with, but now you have that community. So I love the way you explain that. And so, we think about community, man, with the things that I do. And I kind of see myself, I heard someone else say this, and I was like, I kind of see myself as that too, as a connector. I just love bringing people together and getting people's stories out there and, on my platform and sharing my space for people to get to know people better. And so, again, the title of this, Impactful Conversations. So thinking about community, like in what ways do you think people can impact their community, or what does it mean to impact your community, in your eyes?
In today's world, there are several different things we can do to impact our community. A few key things. Number one, we have to know we have to be assets in our community. We cannot be a liability on the community. We have to be assets, meaning we have to be able to give back to the community and not always take away from, but be able to give back. It could be a mirage of different things. We can give back in different ways, but we have to be able to give back to our communities. One of the key things that I love about my fraternity, our fraternity, we believe in being a part of the community and not apart from the community. So when we go and get our degrees and when we go and get educated, we believe in coming back to our community and bringing people out and bringing people forward and then bringing them to do the same thing. We have to be mentors. We have to be nurturers. We have to go back and get our younger generation. The thing about being a nurturer and the thing about being a mentor, we have to be leaders also. We have to be able to lead, because a good leader teaches others to lead and not just to follow.
Hold on, bro. What? Say that again. Say that again. You just dropped the big gem right there, man. Say that one more time.
A good leader teaches others to lead and not to follow. Now, I'm going to take us to the Bible for just one moment. When God put Moses to rest, Joshua was already ready. He didn't need any training. Okay. We cannot be too concerned about what we're doing, where we don't reach behind us and teach our nieces, our nephews, our little cousins, our children, our grandchildren, and teach them what we know, so that when our time comes for us to sit down, they're already ready to stand in and keep moving forward and not just sit and wait. we have to be able to sit down and know that we've already trained the next generation to go forward and not just to sit and wait on us. And that's how we have to impact today. We have to impact today looking for tomorrow. We just can't impact today just for today. We impact today by looking to tomorrow, not just looking for today.
Man, I love that. Ooh, you, hey, Sora said, preach. We got what's up to everybody who's joined in on this live again. This is Impactful Conversations brought to you by PNC Life Coaching. And I'm just talking with my big brother, just an amazing brother, Abraham Evans III, the state director of Alabama for Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. So got a lot of blue and white. I saw Mark Martin chimed in, said, "What up, brothers?" And we got some blue and white in here. Terrell's chiming in a lot. So just been talking about, again, we started talking about with your upbringing and just bringing it all the way home to community and community in your adult life and impact. And I think that is the greatest impact, creating other leaders and passing that baton to the next generation, the next person. I work with a nonprofit. I'm on the board for a nonprofit, Youth Talk United, here in Birmingham. And that's one of the big things is, like, anytime I can be involved with the youth, or whether it's speaking at a middle school, high school, I love it because it gives me a chance to reach back. I love how you said, we can get educated, we can move on, we can be in our careers, but are we giving back? I'm so excited. And I'm on live. I'm on Facebook Live right now saying this, YouTube. I'm saying this. I can't wait until and I'm not saying I'm hoping, because I know it's going to happen. I'm in touch with the staff. I can't wait till I go back home and speak again for the first time as what I do as a coach and speaker at my alma mater, Russell County High School. I can't wait. I'm so excited, and just thinking about that. Yeah, I think it hits different, when you can go back home and just impart that wisdom on the next generation. Our good brother Monolito C. Irby in the house. Salute. What's up, brother? From one state director to the next. Georgia in the house.
What's going on, brother Irby, brother state director?
Yes, sir. So here we go. Let's talk about it now, man. Again, we represent the blue and white. So your Sigma story, bro. Let's jump right on in there. Let's jump in the sauce, bro, and let's talk about it, man. Like, first of all, even before
my mom is watching, so
disclaimer.
Okay.
Look, you already told. Look, shout out to your mom, because, again, an amazing woman. Because you already told us when you at home, you're still in the house by a certain time. So that's what's up. But bro, just, I guess, shout out to Terrell Slater too. He's on here. He's doing some interview series for Eta Epsilon chapter as we approach our charter day. And one of the questions that he poses is, so if you go back to, in your mind, before Phi Beta Sigma, kind of what, indeed, bro, indeed, never forget Alabama made. Yes, sir. And look, I'm throwing this in there, bro, because this is a family affair, right? I go back to really being a neo when I first met brother Monolito, man, and just going to, I can't remember if we were at Jacksonville State or where we were, but it was a step show. And man, I'm high energy. So I just see this person that's just commanding the room and down to earth, speaking to everybody, not just the blue and white, but everybody in the whole building. That was brother Monolito C. Irby. So just love that, man. Yes, sir. Mr. Brother State Director Irby. But let's go back a little bit and tell us what led you to become a part of this great band, or what was your kind of initial thoughts in the fraternity life, and kind of take us back to when you came in, man, and tell us a little bit about that journey.
Okay. Well, I'm an only child, and I was the first generation to go to college. So I did not know anything about Greek life, Greek organizations. The only thing that I knew at the time was probably Alpha and probably Q at the time. So when I went to college, of course, I was amazed to hear about all Kappa and Sigma and Alpha and Q. And then I went to Livingston University and stayed in Brock Hall at the time. And my freshman year, I didn't pledge anything. And some of my other college friends, they pledged Alpha, a couple pledged Q, and some pledged Sigma. The one that pledged Alpha, they changed. You know, they hung out with their Alpha friends, and the one that pledged Q, he hung out with his Q friends, and the ones that pledged Sigma, they hung out with the Sigmas. But they still invited me to hang out, and they still invited me to have lunch, and they still invited me to parties, and they still invited me to fellowship. And it was as though nothing had changed. And I really appreciated that. And I started looking into Sigma, and I appreciated everything that Sigma stood for. And I went to the interest meeting, and it fit. It was a brotherhood. And even though they joined, they still treated me as Abraham. They still treated me as their friend. Even though I wasn't a member of the organization, they still treated me as though I was still their brother. They still treated me as their friend, even though I was not part of the blue and white family. I was adopted as a friend of the blue and white family. And that's when I made the decision I wanted to be a Sigma. That was it. And then I went through the process. And the night I went through the process, it was 9 of us. I remember the entire night. I remember all of my brothers that we went through the process together. The names are different from what the process was called then to what it's called now, obviously. It went through the process. And that night, we had our reveal party. And at the reveal party, of course, you have the big celebration that went on into the early morning. But I left the reveal party and I went to a trailer. And I tell people this story all the time because this really solidified my passion for the organization. I went to a trailer and I sat and talked until the sun came up to 2 brothers. And I'm going to call their names because I love them dearly. Fred Square and Garrick Smith. And we talked until 6 o'clock, and they talked to me about exactly what brotherhood meant and the importance of brotherhood in Sigma, and why brotherhood is the cornerstone to this fraternity, and why this fraternity is better than any other fraternity out there. And it's the brotherhood. And from 12 to 6 o'clock that morning till the sun rose, we talked about brotherhood. And that was my experience in Sigma. And to this day, I tell people it's brotherhood, scholarship, and service. But without the brotherhood, the scholarship, and the service, you've got to have that brotherhood piece first. Because if you don't understand the brotherhood, how can you have the scholarship or the service? You've got to have that brotherhood first.
Man, I love that. It's so crazy too because I love it. I love it, bro. It's so crazy because it was kind of similar with me, man. Just that feel, that family feel. I was telling Taro again on his interview series. I was telling him, I said, man, look, I was just the roommate. I'm opposite, right? You were saying you're only child, right? I spoke here earlier. I'm the youngest of 11. 5 older brothers. So brother, for me, it wasn't really on my radar. I wasn't like, some high schoolers are excited. I'm going to college. I want to pledge. I want to join this organization. They want to do it. For me, it wasn't on my radar. I wasn't thinking about this. But what opened my eyes or changed my perspective, my roommate, the late, great Calvin Drake Jr., rest in power, he would take me places, right? And I can remember distinctly, I went to what would later be my DP's graduation dinner at his mom's house, and everybody treated me like, like, what up, my roommate, calling me roommate. I don't even know some of them just because I was connected. Whoa, this is crazy. Feel it kind of made me, and I still did my research, but that was the thing, man, that brotherhood. So when you, that is brotherhood. If you, just a second, all right, there we go. Had some technical difficulties. Bro, do you got me?
I got you, man.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I had to change my my wireless, looking some unstable. Anyway, so yeah, bro. Again, man. So you mentioned it already. I mentioned it, but I'm talking to my big brother, the state director of Alabama, man. Tell me about that, bro. How did you get here to that point? Thank you, Tyra. Yeah, Tyra said it's breaking up now. Better now. Okay, good. Yeah, I had to change over. So, bro, man, fill me in. I'm looking and I'm seeing this going on, and I'm like, whoa, brother, in the house. So, man, tell me about that journey, man, and what was kind of that, because we talk about impact, right? There has to be a passion to really want to make an impact, to continue to run for offices and to do things and to continue to elevate. So tell me about that journey,
man. Man, listen, what God has for you, you cannot run away from. It really is. It's just that simple. I had no idea that politics and Sigma was going to be in my future when I joined the organization. When I came back to Birmingham, I had no idea that politics and Sigma was on the radar, was on the plan. When I did arrive back in Birmingham, I became a part of the Tau Sigma chapter, the awesome Tau Sigma chapter. And I wanted to pay my dues and relax and enjoy Tau Sigma. And they asked me to spearhead the Shoes for Kids drive, and that is the longest running drive for the state. And what that does, in December every year, we would raise money and put shoes on the feet for needy kids throughout the city of Birmingham. And that was something that was amazing. And they asked me to spearhead that under the umbrella of social action. And that lit a fire in me that I did not know I had. So when the time came to run for the state director of social action, it was put on me to run. And I said, okay, God, I hear you. I'll do it. And I did. And at the time, I had just moved back to Alabama, and no one really knew me because I had been away from Alabama for about 8 or 9 years. So no one really knew who I was because I was away for so long. And I just so happened to win. And as soon as I won, I began to do work because, when God puts you in a seat, you can't just sit there idle. You have to get in and do the work because he put you there to work.
Right.
So I began to do the work. And we started with March of Downs, American Cancer Society. We started doing work. Anything that happened in the community that required attention from Sigma, we were there. I made sure we were on the forefront. If there was something that happened in the news, I made sure we were there with the response. Unfortunately, we started to see and I will call it what it is, we started to see the issues with the police in our community. We were there putting out press releases, and we had to be mindful of what we said because we have a lot of members of our fraternity in the force, in the police force. So
right.
When we put out information, I had to be very, very careful with how we said it because I did not want it to be negative and derogatory toward the police, because for one, we didn't want to do that. And for two, we have members of our fraternity that serve on the police. So what I did do, I got with a group of officers, different rank, and I pulled them together and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. Here is the letter. Let's talk about it. And I made sure it was complete before we put it out. I did social action for several years. We did partners with Orly Smith Cancer Research Foundation. During my time in social action to date, we're still the only D9 organization that has a partnership with that foundation. Dr. Orly Smith, she is a Black scientist trying to find a cure for cancer using nanoparticles to pinpoint exactly where the cancer is located to go attack it, instead of trying to do chemo throughout the entire body. And the research is phenomenal. After doing social action, I then became the first vice. And the role of first vice, that role is membership. The primary responsibility is growing membership in the organization. And a lot of times as first vice, the question is, what does my membership in the state get? What can we get besides just our card? So I went to Enterprise Rent a Car and I said, hey, I have this many members in the state. Can we get something for any member in the state of Alabama? And they said yes. So we have an exclusive deal with Enterprise Rent a Car National, where if you are a financial member in the state of Alabama, you get discounts off rental cars for Enterprise and National. Then I said, well, let me take it a step further. I went to Hyatt Regency in Hoover. I said, hey, with the fraternity, we have this many members. Can we work out some type of deal? And they said yes. So now any Hyatt Regency worldwide, we have a partnership with them as well. So that was my track. And then I said, now it's time to run for state director, because there are more things that I want to do. There are different partnerships that I want to see happen. As first vice, we also was able to get the Alabama Signal Support Fund program. And that's something where if brother may need assistance, we're able to help him with that also. So just a couple of things, man. Like I said, it's all Godspeed. I would love to sit here and say that, oh yeah, in 1998 when I pledged, I knew exactly I wanted to be state director in 2021. Right. I'm not going to sit here and take credit for God's work, because I am not that crazy. This was God's plan, and I'm just grateful that I'm the vessel that He chose to see His plan through.
I love it. I love it, man. And you know, congratulations to you again, because just seeing that process, right, of that hard work, like you said, man, you know, when you get something, it takes some work. So seeing that through and following it up and continuing to go, you know, that's amazing. So I love it, man. And everything you've done, and even what you said too, with the partnerships, that's huge. So I love it, man. So in what you're doing, man, in your growth and all the work you're putting in, what's next? What's next for you, whether it be the fraternity, personal life, whatever it is? What's next, man? What's on the horizon for you? Because people who are involved, people who do things and they do productive things, they're always doing something. So it's always a what's next. It's right. Not like, okay, I've done this, I'm done. No, it's on to the next thing. So what's next for you, man? Whether it be in the fraternity, your life, just what's on the horizon for you, bro?
Man, our people. I want to get our people to a better place than where we are. That's what's next. That is honestly what's next for me, and how that looks, be it with Sigma partnering with the other D9 organizations, be it with partnering with any other states. That's what's next, because we need to be able to come together. We are losing giants every single day. Our frat brother, Honorable Congressman John Lewis, we are losing giants every single day. And we cannot continue to rest and wait for leaders to step up. We cannot continue to rest and simply wait. We've got to put it on our shoulders and continue on the work. So that's what's next. We've got to do it. There are a lot of things that I can say, and I'm kind of cautious because a lot of times, with cancel culture and what have you, yeah. But that's
for sure. I feel you, man.
We have to be able to get to a place where we can respect each other, but also be able to move forward and be able to tell the truth and understand how that looks and hear one another. Because we're getting to a point where we cannot hear one another to understand. We want to hear each other to attack each other, but we don't want to hear each other to understand each other. And that's why the confusion comes into play. We first have to listen to understand, because once we understand where you're coming from, then we know how we can address it. But we have to understand where someone is coming from before we just say, no, that's not right. Like the whole thing about the Juneteenth. I get it. The Juneteenth that he signed the federal law. That's great. I like that. Okay, that's fine. That works. But there are so many other things that we need to accomplish that we just cannot celebrate this one thing. There are so many other opportunities and so many other factors that come into play. We just cannot rest on this. We've lost too many great leaders to rest on one holiday.
Yeah, for sure. I love that too, man, is because again, people who do great things and people who are doing the work is not, I ask what's next for you, and it's not about us, right? It's about our people. It's about the collective community. Goes back to the other question, right? That community. So I love where you took that, like it's more work that needs to be done. And I think that's the important takeaway. Like, once we start accomplishing things, we can't forget what you said earlier also, bro. Go back. What does the community need? What is what's the grand scheme of things? What does the whole need instead of just the half? I always say if you're looking at yourself, it's just the half of things. When you're looking at the community, it's the whole of things. So love that. Love it, man. So bro, let me change things up a little bit. Man, on a lighter note, because you and I, we've been battling for some time now. So I would be remiss if I don't bring it up in this impactful conversation. So the way I want to phrase this too, bro, is like, honestly, this last year and a half, right, or this last year and a few months of this pandemic, man, has been something that's been a pivot point for us all, and something that I don't think any of us expected going into 2020. Everybody 2020 vision, the year of vision and all this, and we didn't know 1, 2, 3 months like big bad wolf was peeking around the corner. So again, things that are out of your control, but something happened. The creative spirit of the culture, I'm gonna just say it like that. The creative spirit of the culture did something for us that is unmatched. Music, the DJs, everything. You started to see this collective that's now turned into a business that was so a multi-million-dollar business with the Verzuz. So again, just something that brought a joy out of all the things that we're going through, man. So I wanted to put that in there, and not making it all the way lighter, but bro, we've had a battle going on, man. We've had two rounds of our Verzuz. I don't know if anybody has caught it. We've done our little Verzuz battle on Facebook where we announce it and then we go in the comments of Verzuz. I think we've been doing 10 rounds. Our first one was, correct me if I'm wrong, Smokey Robinson and Lionel Richie, right?
And Lionel Richie, yes, that was the first.
There you go.
Lionel Richie won.
So Smokey and Lionel. Wait, what? What you
I
say?
said Lionel Richie won.
Smokey and Lionel. We just had another one. What, a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
I think it was about a week ago, week and a half.
Yeah, I think maybe a week ago.
Yeah.
So our second one was Gerald Levert and Keith Sweat.
And Gerald Levert won that one.
And so, you know, for everybody who's watching, I told my big bro, I said, you know what? It don't matter, man. We put the artists out there. I'll take whoever, because you know it's just like you racing a car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people, oh man, I got this and this and that. There's a V8, this and that. It ain't the car, it's the driver.
Right.
So you know we've been putting the artists out there. But bro, man, what do we say this last one gonna be? This is gonna be our last one when we do it. Of course, we'll probably put it out there. But who do we say this last one is gonna be, man?
Oh man, this one is the season finale, right?
Yes, sir. Who do we?
This one is the season finale, so this one has to be epic. This one has to be the epic. One of this. This one, to paraphrase, and I give everybody a hint. This is it.
I like it. I like it.
Right. This is it. So the last one is going to feature the all-time greatest, Prince Rogers Nelson, better known as Prince, versus that other guy some people call Michael Jackson.
So I think he just gave a look into who chose who by the way he said that. So this is going to be awesome, man. And you know, we might have to, just because of the depth of these two legends, their catalog, we may have to, you know, make this a 20 round thing or something, man. Because just, you know, you can't even begin to bottle theirs up into a versus anyway. It's more so of just a celebration, man. So this is gonna be awesome. I'm excited. I can't wait. Can't wait to beat you again.
I have some surprises for you. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Well, look, y'all definitely be on the lookout for that.
I have just a few. I might have a Prince wig somewhere. Might have to pull out for you from the purple rain.
Man.
You know.
Look, man, this is awesome.
During the pandemic, everybody else was gaining weight. I managed to lose 82 pounds during the pandemic. So
man,
you might see me in a purple outfit with the. You never know. So be careful,
bro. That's a whole nother interview, man. Just your journey with your weight loss, man. You stuck to that consistency, right? I always tell people, consistency is the key, right? It's going to get you over those mountains, those hard days, being consistent. And it's not about being perfect, but it's about being consistent and disciplined, because that discipline is going to be that day where it's like, man, you know what? It's been a week and a half in this journey, haven't seen any change, but it's, you know, knowing that, you know, you're doing something and you're working towards a goal. So you definitely got a congratulations from my sis Tyra. But yeah, that's what's up, bro. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you with that.
And it's life. It's just staying consistent, because you get knocked down, you get beat up.
Yeah.
But you have to maintain consistency. And my mom always says, during those difficult times, during those difficult days, even when you don't know what you're going to do, you don't know how you're going to get by, the only thing you have to do, the only single thing you have to do, you have to put your feet on the floor and just let God handle the rest. So you just have to have that consistency to be able to get up. If you're able to get up, the consistency of getting up, just trust God and let him handle the rest. And that's the part, that's the piece that we tend to forget. Even in the difficult times and the difficult days, God never changes. It's always us. So even in those difficult moments, in those difficult times, we have to remember that God doesn't change. He's always there. So the worst part of your life, the worst part of your day, the worst part of your night, the worst part of your history, you made it through that because you're still here. So if you made it through that, the same God that got you through that is the same God that's going to get you through this. You just have to be that consistent to know that he's going to get you through it and do what you consistently do. So yeah.
Right. Ooh, the doors of the church are now open. Man, come on, bro. Love it. I love it. Man, listen, man, I appreciate you for doing this again. This is a new segment that I started, Impactful Conversations, and just a way for me to talk to some people that are doing great things that I look up to, people that inspire me. And I appreciate you for doing this. I reached out to you. There's no problem. We'll make it happen. So definitely appreciate you, man, for doing this, for your time, for your wisdom, all of that, man. Appreciate it.
Brother, you inspire me too, man. I've already talked to you a couple of times offline about doing some stuff. So you inspire me as
for sure,
brother. I'm happy for you, and whatever I can do to help you and assist you, whatever you need me to do, I'm just a phone call, text message, Facebook away. Let me know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. State Director Irby chimed in from all that good stuff he just got finished dropping. Yeah, man. This is awesome. I'm so glad that we had some family on watching and everything, that we were able to do this, man. And of course, again, y'all be on the lookout. It's going to be on both of our profiles soon here in the next week or so. We're going to do this third and final battle of our of the season. And y'all just send some well wishes to my big brother State Director Evans, because he's gonna need it, because I'm gonna whip him again.
Oh no! You need all the well wishes. Come on now, come on. Let's
oh man,
of the space.
Yes, sir, bro. You got anything to leave the people with, man? Any parting thoughts? Words. Thank you everybody for tuning in to this live episode segment of Impactful Conversations with Coach Mike. This is the third one again of this segment that I started. We were live tonight on Facebook and YouTube. So again, brother, any parting thoughts or words you want to leave the people with?
My brother, I just want to say thank you for what you are doing and for giving people the opportunity to have the impactful conversations, because I've watched the other two and I've watched your YouTube channel, and you are doing phenomenal things and great things, and just continue doing what you're doing. And to the people that are watching, just remember, your community is your family, and your family represents your community. We are one. We are put here not to be individuals. We are put here to be on this earth, to be together. And we have to make it together. We cannot make it alone. We have to make it together.
Love it. What's the saying, man? Help me out, bro, if you know it. If you want to go, do it alone. If you want to go further, do it together. And I'm paraphrasing that, but again, I love that. That's a weight. And I think when we realize the impact of that, it's the wave I'm on, man. It literally is the wave I'm on. A couple of weeks ago, I did my last YouTube video about check your web, like the importance of your web and the people who's in your circle, because that can either make or break you. It can make or break you. The people in your circle, the people who influence you, right? And the people you influence, it can make or break you. So definitely appreciate you.
Birds of a feather flock together, And I know but that's what grandmama said. That's what mom said. Birds of a feather flock together. Like the people in my circle, you're in my circle. People who are doing things, people with vision. We have ideas. We bounce off one another, because there are things we want to do. We encourage one another. We expand one another, because you don't know what you can take until you're expanded. You have to be expanded to know exactly how far you can go. And that's what we do. That's what your circle is supposed to do. If you are the one in your circle that's at the highest point, you're in the wrong circle. You want to find aspiration to reach to. And if you're at that point, you find somebody higher. That's the goal.
There you go.
That's the goal.
Love it.
Find
Love it,
somebody
man.
higher than you to reach to.
Right. Yes, sir. I love it. Yeah. Man, I hope y'all enjoyed this as much as me. Just the gems that you drop, and just again this impactful conversation. I appreciate it. You've been tuning in to Impactful Conversations, brought to you by P&Z Life Coaching, where we want you to be capable, competent, confident, conscious, and courageous. So thank you to everybody. Y'all have a good evening. Y'all be blessed, and we'll see you next time on Impactful Conversations.